which gives a guidance, and also this is given by the Honorable Supreme Court of India. And we have Paris Agreement, Stockholm, Rio Declaration. These were very important international law aspects of which protecting this environmental law from international law background and even our Indian national law background. So this India have signed this particular conventions as well. And straight away we'll go with what research methodology have used here is that the present study is adopting this mixed research methodology, which means integrating this doctrinal and empirical approaches. So here the research design is about descriptive, analytical and exploratory, which means from the acts whichever I mentioned, this environmental protection and those so and so forth acts. An empirical method which says about this purposive sampling of an agriculture officers, environmental lawyers, farmers and regulatory authorities. And also this paper has been guided by, particularly I am doing my internship under Justice C. Saravanan, High Court Judge. So the Lordship has guided me in this particular paper. So many judgments have been included for my study. So he guided me for what are the steps should be taken to present among this particular topic in the law aspects. And also we have stakeholders for farmers, agricultural landowners, agriculture officers, Department of Agriculture officials, environmental regulatory authorities, environmental lawyers, and even high court judges. And the overall methodology, what it says about, it provides a legally sound and evidence-based foundation to critically evaluate whether India's legal framework effectively balancing this economic growth and environmental sustainability. So how is it balancing? Balancing between this economic growth and the environmental sustainability. Because also we have this concept called as tariff, which means whenever the demand rises, automatically, whenever the price is rising, the demand will be getting reduced. This kind of an approach from the international aspects levels. And first, in the discussion point of view, I can explain 5 questions. Discuss with the 5 questions. My first question is about awareness on environmental laws and regulations governing agricultural land use in India. Here I can mention one particular landmark judgment which is said by the Honorable Supreme Court of India. ND Jayan, this is Union of India. In this particular case, what Supreme Court says about that, principles of sustainable development can be interpreted in this particular case. Because every scenario, sustainable development is very important. That should not change the future. For future needs should be there. For future, some basic resources should be given for the humans aspect. So this was the criteria. This is a decision given by Supreme Court of India. And other case is nothing but Pranayavaran Suraksha something. This is Union of India 2017 case. Even in this landmark judgment, they have said about strengthen the coordination of an environmental awareness between district level, villages, town, district level. The environmental law awareness should be given for everyone. So finally, I just conclude with one word, that is a great economist, which given there are 4 definitions, already you are aware about that. Adam Smith, wealth definition, Alpha Marshall, the human well-being, the welfare definition, Robbins gives about scarce resources for unlimited wants, Samuelson gives about the growth definitions. Already at present we are using this neoclassical era. And also for that, the sustainable agriculture is a global wide concept, which United Nations in at present conference they speak about it. So at present every country should adopt this particular definition, they should have a policy related to that. So economic growth is very important in every country, in each country. Then we'll reduce the poverty, the zero. As per the Sustainable Development Goals, even the Environmental Protection Act, everything which says about this development of a nation is very much important. And even the National Green Tribunal, which sustaining the particular cases which is relevant to any violations occur in environmental sites. So this is a tribunal which occurs in it. And after that, there are various Supreme Court guidance given under it. And using of this science and technology, This is a zigzag method. Maybe may employment may there be an employment, may cannot be an employment. So we should not adopt with artificial intelligence and science and technologies. Because morning there were many keynote speakers they are saying about the Ethiopia countries. So many countries they have discussed about it. And also I have done some comparative study belong to UK, United Kingdom, United States of America, Brazil, China. This way they all have a separate agricultural law, soil law. So those are the laws which is given on the particular nations. So and so in India we are lack in a particular making of a particular laws and policies. So my recommendations is as per the 250 of an Indian constitution, they say the parliament have any conditions to make any kind of law which refers to agreements, treaties and conventions. Thank you.
Good afternoon, dear students, respective guests. It's technical session 1. We will begin with the chair, Dr. Anita from MSU, and the co-chair, chaired by our Dr. Devaraj, head of the Department of History at Kamaraj College. We would like to honor our co-chair, Dr. Devaraj. I request our Professor Bhubalan, Assistant Professor of Economics at Department of Economics, Kamaraj College, to honor Dr. Devaraj. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. A. Devaraj. Sorry, thank you. Continue.
Good morning, distinguished panel members, my co-presenters, students, and to everyone present here. Myself, Lochana, the author of the paper, and along with my co-author, Ms. Navina from Savita School of Law, third year students. And we are going to present on our research topic, which is a universal basic income versus a targeted subsidized, which is a comparative analysis. To begin with the introduction, I would like to compare it with a real life scenario. I'd like to compare it with a real life scenario where when we take a farmer whose entire income is depending upon a monsoon and the monsoon is getting affected, which is directly affecting upon their income level. Secondly, when we take about a rural household where their survival is extremely dependent upon how and what type of seasonal work they do and upon which their livelihood actually functions. And at last, I'd like to also quote the single crop failure of a farmer, which is leading to an ultimate failure of his entire security of livelihood and the income levels as well. When we take these three scenarios at first, what we have come to the conclusion is that it has become a question of dignity and security as well for the farmers and the people in the rural livelihood upon what factors does actually their livelihood depending upon. That is why we have chosen this particular topic, which is regarding the universal basic income and the targeted subsidies, which is better and how. India's rural economy is having a sustained nation. It remains one of the most economically insecure spaces in the country. As stated by a man before, who is one of the dignitaries, agriculture is said to be the backbone of our entire nation. Yet, the rural livelihood and the income of the people belongs to them. They are actually not paced enough and viable enough to get their livelihoods earnings to match their daily basis of incomes and savings as well. For decades, the state has attempted in various ways to actually cope up with this particular scenario, like providing with the fertilizer support, by providing them with the food grains, by imposing various schemes like PM, Kisan, NG, GA. Various schemes have come, but do they actually function? There are some leakages and some lacking of implementation of such schemes still being existed. In recent years, a radically different idea has been emerged, which is named as the universal basic income concept. This concept is very simple, but yet it is also said to be a revolutionary concept in nature. Universal basic income promises an unconditional income flow for each and every individual who belongs to the rural livelihood sector, shifting welfare from selective assistance. They do not provide the people who face a particular problem. This particular scheme is not faced towards the problem alone. Instead, it is helping in each and every individual who are present in this particular India, like treating everyone very equally upon their daily basis. This raises the fundamental question where should rural income security in India be delivered through carefully targeted subsidies or through universal basic income as such. This presentation underscores the comparative analysis of universal basic income and targeted subsidies. Not to choose between them, but to actually compare the pros and cons of the targeted subsidies as well as the universal basic income concept. Our study is based upon three major objectives. Our first objective is that it examines how effective India's targeted subsidy schemes really are in securing rural incomes with specific focus on their efficiency in work. So, in our study, we have been analyzed some of the part which we compared and examined the universal basic income and also the targeted subsidies using our policy evaluation criteria such as the efficiency, equity, physical feasibility, and long-term social impact. So, based on this, this comparative analysis, the study identified the major key findings. So, first finding would be the targeted subsidies continue to be an essential for rural income security and especially in ensuring food availability and access to agricultural inputs. And secondly, despite their importance, targeted subsidies suffers from systematical challenges including leakages, corruption, exclusion of deserving beneficiaries and administrative inefficiencies. So, based on this, while the study provides meaningful insights about the findings and the analysis part of our study, it also note that there are key limitations of our study. The research primarily relies on the secondary data, which restricts our ability to capture rapidly changing rural socio-economic conditions. So, based on this findings, the suggestion we wanted to propose here is, firstly, instead of a full UBI, which is the universal basic income, the government can implement a quasi-UBI form or a partial income support system for the most vulnerable groups. Secondly, strengthening the direct benefit transfer system. And thirdly, essential in-kind support system. And fourthly, a pilot UBI project should be introduced. So, to conclude, the study establishes that neither targeted subsidies nor universal basic income alone can fully secure rural livelihoods in India. The future of rural income security lies in the improved administrative efficiency, reduced leakages, evidence-based policy making, and the strategical use of a digital governance to ensure inclusive and sustainable development. Thank you.
Strategies and sustainability of Tamil Nadu, growing number of rural migrants are returning to entrepreneurship as the alternative means of sustaining their livelihood. How migrant household initiative small and micro enterprises as a part of their post-migration livelihood strategies. Characteristics of migrant entrepreneurs mostly come from rural background with migration with experience. They gain new skill, saving gain from the migration experience. Importance of rural market. For example, the impact of migration and the entrepreneurs experience. Entrepreneurship is two separate challenges. Challenges and opportunities. Challenges is unstable income, financial, social insecurity, vulnerability. Opportunity, asset, income, say family support from the government. In these can be balanced. The migrant rural entrepreneurs they can
Respected organizer, respected chairperson, respected co-chairperson, dear participants and my students. Good afternoon to one and all. Actually, my topic is related to my PhD topic, Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi Scheme, a booster to foster inclusive growth and promote rural development. Actually, agriculture was main occupation in the first 5-year plan up to 12th 5-year plan up to 2017. But in 2018, Nidhi Aayog came into existence, and since then every plan was implemented every year. Based on that, today the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Scheme, an amount of rupees 65,000 crores has been disbursing every year through 3 installments of 2,000 per installment. In 1 year, 6,000 rupees is being given to each and every farmer. So that plays an important role of not only inclusive growth of the economy as well as it promotes the rural development of the economy. Why? Because after the implementation of this scheme, no one is selling the land. Any farmer, once upon a time they used to sell the land and they get the amount of money. But once the free money is given, 6,000 rupees is given free every year. So every farmer, they want to keep the land and they want to acquire the land from others because they are getting the money freely without any install. That is, it is not a due. So that is the main consideration why inclusive growth. Inclusive growth means every citizen, every person should be a part of the economy or economic growth. So today, every farmer, whatever they got, that 2,000 rupees, they either invest in rice or paddy, or they mainly invest in vegetables. Mainly vegetables, fruits, whatever that can be cultivated in the particular land, they used to cultivate and they used to grow and do some production. So that plays an important role of inclusive growth and it leads to growth of the economy. Actually, my study is confined to study about the Prime Minister's scheme all over India. I took all the regions, northern region, southern region, eastern region, western region and northeastern region. Actually, most of the 85%, I took 2011 census. Based on the census, I calculated whether the cultivators are getting the money. 80 to 90% cultivators are getting the money through this scheme. So So it makes a 100% success. That plays a first inclusive growth. Next, those who are having land, they are getting the money. So they are getting some production or doing some production and getting some profit. That is second, rural development of the development of the economy. Third point, each and every person, those who are getting money, they used to approach the state government easily without any, that is before and all in the 5-year plan, if any scheme means they will not even approach the state government. But today, every farmer, every person, they are getting money easily. So that plays an important role of the inclusive growth as well as the rural development. So this scheme actually has played an important role. But defects is that single person, a farmer, in one family, only one person can get the money. If 4 persons is having land means only one person is given. That is creating a problem to some landowners because every farmer is interested to do. But a person, those who are having 4 land means in a family, they are allocating the money only for one person. That is a drawback. There is drawback of the present scheme. This scheme should be given to all the persons, those who are having land. Whether they are cultivators, whether they are government servants, it is not confined to government servants. Government servants are not eligible to the scheme. So that should be avoided and it should be given to all. Actually, one of our resource persons told, equity. Equity means it should be common to all. But agriculture is confined only to rural person and only to illiterate people. That is educated person is not given a chance to do the agriculture. That should be changed based on this inclusive growth and rural development. So this is about my topic. Actually, I have calculated correlation and different type of calculations, but due to time constraint, I cannot do this. So this is my.
Good afternoon. You on the role of Lok Adalat resolving case backlog in judiciary. Why does the Lok Adalat include the Lok Adalat the failure of Indian justice and they have failed to cases within both in the system of the cases very quickly. Role of Lok Adalat in health and economics. Lok Adalat plays a vital role in solving cases like culture issues, economic many more related to Lok Adalat reduce the farmers have the settlement through the to resolving this. So Lok Adalat creates awareness about solving cases that they complete the case on amicable settlement. That the one party and the another come into a mutual agreement. Compensation. Lok Adalat which some of the cases in very costly and they are faster judicial mechanism than any other areas. And in future, just it plays a vital role in solving cases like agriculture and economic sector. Economic sector problems arise due to the factors like loans or credit programs. So, in these cases, amicable settlement.
address case backlogs and enhance the efficiency of growth alerts. This involves establishing efficiency getting communication protocols between submissions, coordination and referral mechanism between traditional courts and log alerts. Investing in infrastructure for log alerts facilitating and campaigns should target citizen and log alert service.
Joshita, BBA LLB Honors, and let me move on to my introduction. First of all, agriculture plays a dual role in our economic, it contributes most of rural life, livelihood, and economic livelihood and economics contribution in the society. And despite its importance, the sector suffers from the structural and environmental challenges such as degraded land, water stress, and climate uncertainty. Rising cultivation costs may reduce the profitability for the small and marginal farmers who farm and majority landholders. And the schemes like NMSA forms focus on the climate adaptation. PKVY promotes soil health and organic farming, and PMKSY improves the water use efficiency. And let me move on to my sector problems. Is agriculture is a main livelihood source in rural India, but farmers faces multiple structure and environmental concerns. And climate change has increased uncertainty to the erratic rainfall and extreme weather changes. Nowadays, continuous use of chemical inputs has resulted in soil loss, soil fertility loss, and groundwater depletion. And this may be increases the rising cost of seeds and fertilizers, and labor have reduced profit margins, and especially for the small and marginal farmers. And we move on to my objectives. So my objectives are to access the sustainable farming practices, improve the rural income and livelihood, and to evaluate the impact of post-harvest and agricultural infrastructure on the reducing cost and increasing profits, and to examine the role of the women and marginalized farmers in sustainable agriculture, inclusive growth, and to move on my scope of study. Scope of study is this study concentrates on only the post-union budget 2025 to 2026 and reforms not only agriculture policies. And this focuses on the sustainable purchases practices such as the climate smart cropping and effective irrigation and soil health improvement. And it also examines the post-harvest role infrastructure, storage, processing and logistics, and it's reducing losses and it improving the income. It will be continued by my colleague Joshita.
So my conclusion, the study shows that the post-union budget 2025 to 26 sustainable agricultural reforms have positively impacted rural empowerment in India, climate smart practices and better resources. Management have increased productivity, income and livelihood opportunities to improve post-harvest investment and reduce losses and benefits. Small farmers, women and marginalized groups are growing. Greater participants promoting inclusion through challenges like uneven implementation and limited credit access remain. Overall sustainable reforms offer strong potential for equitable rural economy. Thank you. Good evening everyone. My topic is an empirical study on the impact of modern agriculture practice on water quality, special reference to Tamil Nadu. Yeah, I will talk about a modern farming method in Tamil Nadu affect the water of quality of our water. My introduction is agriculture is very important for our state. It supports millions of rural families and ensures we have enough food. In recent years, farmers have started using modern techniques like high-yield seeds, chemical fertilizer, pesticide machines, and modern irrigation system. These methods have helped increase crop production, which is great, but there is a downside. These modern practices can harm our environment, especially our water. Excessive fertilizer and pesticide often wash away into rivers, pond, and even underground water resources. This can be dangerous for both people and aquatic life. And this study had three main objectives. The first objective is to study how modern agriculture practices like using fertilizer, pesticide, and irrigation system affect the quality of rivers, pond, and groundwater. My second objective was to examine move on to my conclusion. In conclusion, modern farming has helped farmers grow more.
Can move on to conclusion. The modern agriculture plays the farming of more cropping, also the problems as water quality of Tamil Nadu. So fertilizers to the rivers, ponds, and the underground water they useful to the homophones to their good main. After the farming of we can grow the food and successful of keeping the water clean of the futures. Thank you.
Dam construction. Yes, myself Kaushik and my co-author Manoj Kumar is going to present on the topic dam construction, soil health, environmental law, and analytical study with special reference to conservative dam, where the dam plays a major role in the upcoming generation for the rainwater harvesting, soil erosion, and many future policies, ma'am. Where the sustainable development plays a major role in the development of the society, ma'am. Sustainable meets the needs of today without compromising the needs of future generation, ma'am. Now coming to the section of this topic is to regularize the major soil erosion and the concept of between each and every person aspect for their upcoming generation, ma'am. Even though government initiatives have taken a certain step to be improved by our own citizens of the country, ma'am, it attempts to understand how large irrigation projects affect the surroundings and to manipulate them for the upcoming future policies, ma'am. Where government initiatives such as environmental impact assessment, ma'am, where every citizens or any person is given a more regardable and a more constructible expansion project authorities for the advances and issuing soil erosion procedures. Now coming to the methodology, the methodology process is primary data and the sample size is 205 and the convenience sampling. Because the convenience sampling is taken about for the convenience for the persons to handle the situation from the dams to the persons. Where the rainwater harvesting, even though the dams plays a major role for the rainwater harvesting, the person also to know about some outcomes and the data for the sustainable development process. Now coming to the data and analysis, the first data represent about the age is being compared with the dependent variable question, where the majority of the percentage strongly agree, the maximum percentage is 35.5%. Now let us be concluded by Kothar.
Good afternoon to all. Myself, M. Manoj Kumar, BA LLB Honors at Sarda School of Law, Chennai. Reminder, I will conclude by this topic. In this conclusion, the analytical study of the dam reveals the complex and interplay between the dam construction and the soil health and environmental law. While this dam has contributed the water supply and the religious integration, the economical changes, the soil degradation and segmentation imbalance. In this, the balance approach on that recognizes in both development and need of the environmental responsibilities. The crucial is the proper policy and environmental and the community imbalance and the engagement of the dam. And then the traditional integration and infrastructure of the model, sustainable and legal complaint of water resources and management. Thank you.
Morning to all. The topic name is poverty impact on childhood in school dropout, human rights with special reference. The main reason to the child dropping the school is poverty of the parents. வறுமை கோட்டுக்கு கீழே இருக்கக்கூடிய அவங்க அப்பாவுடைய நிலைமையால அவங்க வந்து அந்த ஸ்கூலை வந்து ட்ராப் அவுட் பண்ணிட்டு அவங்க வந்து கூலி வேலைக்கு வந்து போறாங்க. அதனால தான் மெயின் ரீசன் வந்து அதுதான். அப்புறமேட்டு என்ன சொல்றது, அப்புறமேட்டு வந்து ஒரு ஆப்ஜெக்டிவ்ஸ் வந்து சொல்லுவோம். First objective is to identify the major reason behind school dropouts, and the second objective is to examine how poverty affect the children's mental health and motivation towards education. To evaluate, my second objective is to evaluate the effectiveness of government initiatives to reducing the school dropouts rates. கவர்மெண்ட் வந்து நிறைய வந்து ப்ரோக்ராம் வந்து நடத்தணும். அது வந்து ஸ்கூல் ட்ராப் அது வந்து நீங்க வந்து படிச்சு நீங்க வந்து எப்படி வந்து முன்னேறது அப்படின்ட்டு கவர்மெண்ட்ஸ் வந்து நிறைய ப்ரோக்ராம்ஸ் வந்து நடத்தினா வந்து அவங்களுக்கு வந்து ஒரு ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கும். அப்புறமேட்டு வந்து எதனால் அவங்க வந்து மெயினாக வந்து ட்ராப் அவுட் கவர்மெண்ட் அவங்க படித்தாலுமே வந்து அதுக்கான ஒரு ப்ராப்பர் அவங்க கவர்மெண்ட் ஸ்கூல் ஃப்ரீயாக தான் படிக்கிறாங்க. ஆனால் வந்து அந்த சேஷனுக்கான நீட்ஸ் வந்து அவங்க பேரண்ட்ஸ் அதை வந்து பை பண்ணி தர முடியல. எதனாலனா அவங்க வந்து கூலி வேலைக்கு கொடுக்குறாங்க, டெய்லி வேஜஸ். அதனால போகிறதுனால வந்து என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா அவங்களுக்கு வந்து அந்த ஒரு வேளை சாப்பாட்டுக்கே வந்து அவங்க வந்து ரொம்ப கஷ்டம். அதனால வந்து சாதா ஒரு ஸ்டேஷனரிஸே வந்து வாங்கி தர முடியல. இங்கிலீஷ் மக்கள்
My name is PSP Rishwaran and I am going to continue this talk from objectives. See, from government initiatives. The key government initiatives studied includes the Right to Education Act and the Midday Meal Act, which and Kamaraj Shiksha Abhiyan and the National Child Labour Project, which restricts the children from labour, and all of which aim to improve the enrollment, attendance and retention of children in schools. And the key findings of this research is that poverty as the main reason for school dropout, and for about 28.36% of respondents have cited that financial difficulties as the main reason for the leaving of the school. And among the children aged between 18 years and below, nearly 30% are financially hardship as the clean challenge, and low-income families' inability to afford uniforms, books, transport and irregular attendance due to their poor living standards significantly increase these dropout rates. And the recommendation and conclusion of the study is that to break this cycle and to recommend strict enforcement ideas and the expansion of scholarships and financial aid, improvement in school infrastructure and free transportation, etc. And my conclusion is a major obstacle to realizing child's right to education and the multidimensional approach involvement in government action ensure that no child denied education
So good morning to one our president here. I am Joseph Jenison and this is my co-author Edna Mariam, and the topic is about the role of sustainable agriculture practices in driving inclusive economic growth among smaller and marginal farmers in India, with a special reference to Chennai. So in the introduction, the sustainable agriculture plays a crucial role in shaping the future of India's rural economy. Small and marginal farmers, who constitute the majority of the agricultural workforce, faces challenges in such as limited land holdings, objectives in my research. So first one is to analyze the extent of adoption of sustainable agriculture practices among small and marginal farmers to identify the major factor influencing their adoption. So the second of our objectives is to examine the impact of sustainable agriculture practices on farm productivity, income levels and livelihood security in small and marginal farmers. So in the third objective is to evaluate how sustainable agriculture contributes to inclusive economic growth by promoting resources equity, reducing vulnerabilities and improving socio-economic well-being in rural economies. So, go on.
So conclusion, the study highlights that sustainable agriculture practices play a crucial role in improving the economic well-being of small and marginal farmers in Chennai by reducing input costs, enhancing productivity and providing better market opportunities. These practices contribute to long-term income security and support inclusive economic growth, although wider adoption is still limited due to low awareness and financial constraints. Thank you.
Good afternoon everyone present here. Myself is Shashri and she is my co-author Jyoti Sri. The topic I will be presenting is AI powered precision agriculture for sustainable optimization of water, fertilizer and pesticide use in smallholders farmers. So I take this topic because agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy and smallholders farmers form majority of the farming community. These farmers often face serious challenges such as water scarcity, rising input costs, low productivity, climate change and lack of timely information. So introduction of my topic. Precision agriculture refers to using advanced technology, especially AI, IoT, drones, sensors and data analysis to monitor, analyze and optimize farming processes. So it enables site-specific resource management where water, fertilizer and pesticides are applied only where and when needed. So using of precision agriculture helps in higher yield, reduce water usage through smart irrigation and lower fertilizers. So objective of my topic is to analyze AI-driven water prediction accuracy in smallholders irrigation management, to evaluate fertilizer optimization through AI and its effect on yield and soil sustainability, to access AI-based best. The methodology I use is empirical research. Samples have been collected through a non-probability convenient sampling method. The independent variables are age. So the suggestion is to overcome these challenges, government should provide targeted subsidies, low interest credits and public-private partnership to reduce adoption costs for small households. So before
The conclusion is AI-powered perception agriculture offers a sustainable solution to optimize water, fertilization and particular for smallholders farming and economic and environmental pressure supported by government
அதாவது திருச்செந்தூர் போயிட்டு இங்கே அவார்டு வாங்க வர மாட்டேங்குது, வர முடியாது.
Myself, E. Sharma, PhD research scholar, Dr. Under the guidance of Dr. S.S. Vishanjali, Department of Home Science, Gandhigam University. My topic is applications of cellulose nanomaterial in edible coating for fresh foods with preservation, focusing on pears. So, as we all know, plastic production is increasing every year. 0.5 to 9 million tons since 1950. 40% of plastic has been produced every year, but discarding is a landfill. And every year, more than 5 million plastics are discarded. Less than 3% of bags are recycled. So, the urgent need is sustainable alternatives such as focusing on a edible coating and biodegradable material, which is focusing. And as we all know, post-harvesting losses due to their perishable nature, fruits and vegetables are highly perishable. And now I am focusing on edible coating. Focus on edible coating is playing a vertical role in post-harvesting by preserving the quality of fruits and vegetables. The source which I am getting means biopolymers, protein, polysaccharide, lipid-based edible coating. It helps to prevent the physical damage during the storage. And then one kind of thing has to added, edible coating is extending shelf life of the regulating and transmission and respiration in fresh products like fruits and vegetables. The study focusing on the preparation, classification, potential application of bio-hope derived from edible coating, focusing on the post-harvesting process. And here I am procuring the corn hope from the cellulose. So cellulose are non-toxic, biodegradable. It's full of biodegradable in landfill and strong mechanical property and effective moisture and gas barrier property. These are my objectives. These are my objectives to process the ingredients required for the edible coating, to analyze the characteristics XRD, FDRA same, to analyze the physicochemical property, to analyze the shelf life and physicochemical properties. These are the methods procuring the raw material, extraction of cellulose and characteristics, preparation and application. So what I did is, just I have went for a Kodaikanal, I have collected some pears and it's like around 6 to 7 days of shelf life. I am just extending the edible, I am just applying the edible coating, it's extending around 14 days. So pears is completely 6 to 7 days. I am just extending edible with the method of edible coating, I am extending 14 days of shelf life. And to conclude, so cellulose-based edible coating is urgent need for a sustainable development, because there are lots of packaging material which is not biodegradable, which is undercomes land, it won't discard in the landfill. So I am just incorporating the agriculture waste from the utilization, and these cellulose-based edible coating, sustainable and eco-friendly alternative for the synthetic packaging material. It shows the stronger potential for post-harvesting, preserve the fruits, any kind of fruits and vegetable, as well as I did in tomatoes also, with these challenges in large-scale application. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jay Anand. We are the data. We are here to present market challenges faced by small farmers practicing organic farming in Tamil Nadu. So, introduction. Organic farming has developed as an important agriculture strategy. Tamil Nadu is a shift from chemical intensive farming to environmental sustainable practices. Increasing environmental concerns, declining soil health, and excessive dependency on agrochemicals have encouraged policymakers and farmers to adopt organic farming cultivation as a viable alternative. So, this document research analyzes the legal policies and institutional frameworks governing organic farming in Tamil Nadu and identifying the gap in requiring policies and legal interventions. So, the objective is to analyze the role and implementation of Tamil Nadu organic farming policies to provide recommendation for strengthening market linkages and legal protection for organic farmers.
In conclusion, organic farming offers a sustainable, eco-friendly pathway for agriculture in Tamil Nadu, but small and marginal farmers continue to face significant barriers in fully benefiting from its growth. Key challenges include complex time-consuming and costly certification procedures, along with limited institutional support for farmers during the certification process. Fragmented and non-transparent markets, access to assured demand, and lack of fair pricing mechanisms and restrict farmers' income and weaken market confidence in organic products. Inadequate legal and regulatory protection, such as weak enforcement against mislabeling, contract violations, unfair trade practices, undermines farmers' rights and reduces consumers' trust in organic labels. Strengthening certification systems and regulatory oversight and infrastructure, dedicated organic markets, and financial and institutional support is essential to empower smallholders and position in Tamil Nadu as a leader in inclusive and sustainable organic agriculture. Thank you.
International trade agreements influencing the reliance on agriculture supply chain in the context of pandemic with special reference to Central Bank. Here the main reason I took this topic is that during the COVID-19 period, the Central Bank, that region is affected mainly through that agricultural supply, shortage of agricultural supplies, and through this influence they supply many more agricultural supplies to the this is an empirical research. My topic is my total count is that 204. The samples have been taken in and around Chennai, and most of them are college students, and some of them belong to the Central Bank. And my suggestion is that to diversify the agricultural supply sources and international trade partners through which these kind of rural areas can get more supplies through these kind of influences and some place. In this conclusion, through this international trade agreements, it can significantly says that we can get more supplies for the rural and whoever shortage of things during the pandemic or any other crisis.
Drawal, using growth and under MDM, black level growth analysis of the employment and creation of Sivagay district. Introduction: the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Scheme, the brief circular of the wages of employment sectors, the public assets, the contribution of the development, the Ministry of Development, Agriculture, Farms, the conclusion missions of the Viksit Bharat Rose and Azuma mission. It is a proper conduct 135 days of employment per functional years. Observed member waiting to understand actual work. Objective of the studies. The studies mainly focus on the performance of Sivagai district. The background through the Tamil Nadu during the period of the year. The specific of objective studies. The examiner to the clockwise growth average of the employment average the percentage where competition of the Sivagai district to analyze of the clockwise growth benefit too much and STSD communication of the Sivagai district material and balance. The present of the secondary data of the official website. The analysis of the area black level Sivagai district Tamil Nadu period of the years to identity of the black variation employment variation inclusive under common annual growth rate.
So good afternoon everybody, I am Amita Subramanian co-author Neha Padiswamy and my topic is climate smart agriculture as a pathway to environmental resilience, integrating regenerative farming, soil health and water conservation. So while coming to the background of this CSA, which is climate smart agriculture, climatic change has placed agriculture under severe stress to erratic rainfall, declining soil fertility and increasing water scarcity. Traditional farming systems largely focus on small-term productivity, which often ignoring the long-term environmental sustainability. And this situation demands a resilient and sustainable agricultural approach that can adapt to climate variability while protecting the natural resources. And the concept of smart agriculture, climatic smart agriculture is it is an integrated approach that aims to improve agricultural productivity and while enhancing environmental resilience. It focuses on adapting farming systems to climate change, reducing the environmental degradation and also ensuring sustainable livelihood. CSA works through the combined application of regenerative farming practices, soil health improvement and water conservation. My co-author will proceed further.
Suggestions. An integrated adoption of climate smart agriculture practices should be promoted rather than isolated interventions. Farmer training and extension services must be strengthened and affordable technologies, simplified policies, organized supply chains and consumer awareness are essential to encourage sustainable farming. So as for the conclusion, climate smart agriculture provides a practical pathway towards environmental resilience and sustainable land use. By integrating regenerative farming, soil health restoration, and water conservation, CSA enhances productivity while protecting natural resources with strong policy, support, and community support.
Everyone, the topic we chose is the topic we chose is impact of climate change on biodiversity loss with special reference to India. Basically, what is biodiversity loss is? Basically, what is biodiversity is? Many kinds of plants, many kinds of soils will be present at the same place, at the same country, at the same environment, where we will have a lot of kinds of plants and we will have a lot of species of plants. We can make different products, different food items from one soil, where India is standing in top with that. In India, we got a lot of varieties of plants and animals and ecosystems, which is called biodiversity. So this topic focus on how this biodiversity is damaged by us, that is people of India, through our own lifestyle, through our own way of having our food and the deforestation we are doing. This is what the paper actually focus on. The core problem explained simply is habitats are changing Forest, wetland, coastal areas and mountains are no longer sustainable for many species, and species are forced to migrate. From India, there are a lot of species migrating because of industrial changes, and the way of our living is increasing.
To conclude our study, climate change is a major cause of leading to habitat destruction, species migration, and increased extinction. Rising temperatures, erratic rainfall,